Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Okay, so, obviously, the old thread died. So new creepy driving stories thread. Post whatever you've seen that's weird, paranormal, or scary on the road.
I see there's some thread activity that means another story. My friend just called me, he's flipping his shit, crying, telling me I have to get him right now. I live near the city, so upstate New York, where he lives, is a bit far away. He called at 4 p.m. It's now 7 p.m. because of traffic. This is winter, so it got dark a while ago. Finally, take exit, get to the town he lives closest to. Get to the back road on which he lives. Turn down the road, pitch black, turn on highs, better. Keep driving until I see his Silverado pickup on the side of the road. I shine my car's spotlight over. I see something in the bushes, but it disappears when the light hits it. Shadow, I guess. I don't have a gun. Get my tire iron. Walk to the truck. Open the door. Nobody walk the dinosaur, though. Nobody's in it. Doesn't seem to have been raided. Keys are in the ignition. Now I'm worried. I look up. Right at the window is this human figure staring at me. Now I flip my shit. Dash into the car and bolt. I'm still seeing figures on the edge of the road. I'm not sure if my paranoid mind is getting to me, or something has changed in these woods since I was last here. I get to friend's house, I can't see into his windows, they're covered. I bang on the door and tell him it's me. He then starts asking me questions that only me and him would know. He finally says he'll open the door. I hear shit being moved around. Finally, the door unlocks and we come face to face. He's a mess. Looks like he hasn't slept in days. Messed up hair. His house is a mess too. All his windows have something blocking them. On the floor is an assortment of crap. He says we need to leave. Now. We hop into my car and we speed off. I still see the figures. He's got his eyes closed. I see his truck. I slow down to see if he wants to jump in. I still have the keys. He opened his eyes, screams no, tells me to keep going. Floor it. We get to this mall area. He begins to tell me that when he was driving, an animal jumped out of the trees and forced him to swerve. He hits this giant tree. He gets the truck fixed. Soon it and a lot of other things go bad. The truck would randomly start and stop at night or day. Electronics would shut off. He'd get knocks at his door from nobody. That day, his truck was supposedly chasing him after he got out to check something. It stopped, and he kept running. After that, he called me to get him. Soon after he moved, he made me and a bunch of other friends go back there to get his stuff into his new truck and his father's box truck. He's totally fine now. I think that was previously an Indian camp that was burned and most of the people were killed. My guess is the tree was of some importance to the Indian spirits, 'cause after he hit it is when shit hit the fan.
I don't usually come on this board, but I actually have something to contribute. A couple years ago, me and two friends got bored around 11 at night. Decide to go to this road that has a reputation for being the creepiest place in our city, just for the spooks, man. Mob used to kill people there during Prohibition. Several rapes over the years, dead bodies found, etc. Actually not far at all from the main highway, but completely deserted. It's pretty long and unlit. Forest on both sides. Left side has a large river beyond the trees. Beyond the trees on the right side are large limestone cliffs, with both natural and man-made mob caves. Both very dangerous to enter. Anyway, we had never actually been there before. Only heard of it from other people. immediately spooked after turning off the highway. Pitch black, no lights, long road with creepy history. Driving along, see something in the middle of the road. Come to a stop in front of it. It's a big log sitting perfectly in the center of the road, allowing no passage on either side. It was a warm summer night, so we had our windows open. Man comes out of the woods from the left side. "Hey, do you guys want some help moving this log?" "Nope. Turn around and drive away." There was no car parked where he walked out, and we were pretty much in the middle of nowhere. He was just there waiting for someone to drive up to that perfectly placed log.
My stepfather, mother, and I were out driving to the store. It was late, but I needed a few things for a school project which I thought I had but didn't. We lived in a small housing area off the side of a main, very long road which was heavily wooded on each side. It was dark. My mom sat up front with my stepfather driving. I'm in the back looking out the side window thinking to myself, I'm glad to be in here. Fuck those scary woods. A few moments pass. I see a woman in all white whiz by as our car hurls down the road. My mom asked my stepfather if he had seen it. Yes, what was it? My mother replied, it looked like a woman. Should we go back and see if she needs help? I yell out from the back of the car, no! Because honestly, as a kid, the woods freaked me out as much as some lone-ass woman just hanging out at the side of the road. But before we got any farther, we saw police lights and an ambulance up ahead. There's an overturned car and there is blood everywhere. First time I saw something like that. Obviously, someone died. In the paper the next day, it goes to tell the story of a woman who ended up rolling her car to avoid a deer. She was the only person injured. She died. We believe even to this day that we saw the woman's ghost. Here's another story. Not spooky, but insane. This happened on the same road. It's the same road we took to my school. One early morning, my brother and I hop into the car. Being the eldest, I typically get the front seat but felt bad for my little brother, so said he could have this turn. As we're driving, my mother notices that my little brother didn't tie his shoes, asks him to do it, and for me to check to see if mine were tied too. As I bend over, the rear passenger window explodes. My mother and brother are both screaming, and I'm sitting there freaking out with cuts all over my left-hand side. We pull over and have no idea what happened. She asks me if I'm okay, and besides the cuts from the glass, I'm fine but totally white from shock. My mother looks around outside and then inside the car. We both stand on the passenger side, so we're not in the road. She didn't find anything, so we cleared out the glass and drove us home because screw school. My mother calls my stepfather. He calls the cops to come check it out. After some digging, the cops find a .32 lodged inside the car around the passenger armrest on the opposite side. A hunter was obviously out hunting, and a stray bullet hit our car. If it weren't for my brother and his shoelaces and my mom asking us to tie them, I don't know what would have happened. Still freaks me out to this day.
Not paranormal, but messed up. This happened to my father about 2 months ago. Driving home from a gig at a bar with bandmates. Long empty back road, no other cars, snowing, past midnight. Turn a corner and see the road is illuminated with light. There is a totaled car on the side, engulfed in flames. They pull over and get out to check. The car is wrecked, the hood is already on fire. The road is covered in metal and glass. Tire marks make it clear this thing got some distance when the driver lost control. Father immediately runs to the front for the driver. Nobody sitting in front, nobody on the road, no sign of anybody having left. Get the hell away from the car before the gas ignites and call the cops and fire department. They show up and work for some time to put out fire. They get it under control. Father sticks around to answer questions. More cops show up to check the roadside and surrounding forest in case the driver was ejected. As my father was giving the recap, a cop goes to check out the wreck and quickly calls over his partner. They open up the back door and pull the charred corpse out of the back. When the car crashed, it had flipped. The driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt and was flung onto the floor in the back of the car. We later find out that they found smoke in his lungs. He was still alive as the car burned down, but nobody knew he was there.
I have a more recent story. This took place 2 nights ago at 1 a.m. driving home. Really tired, I just want to get home. This car then comes up from the exit ramp, honks several times with both horns, so he'll realize he's going the wrong way. This car then pulls a U-turn and guns it after me. The car is right behind me now. His lights are extremely bright. I can't see the guy because of the glare. I pull over to let this obviously drunken, high, crazy person pass me, so I don't die. I slow down on the shoulder. Car follows suit. I floor it before it hits me because the car wasn't stopping. I have to get off this road. Pull off into some really small town. The car is still with me. Going down this long stretch of road in this little town. I see a fork in the road. I try to make a last-second decision, but the car hits the sign and still follows me. At this point, I'm fearing for my life. I decided to call the cops. I tell them there's a guy after me. Operator tells me to stay in that small town that I was in, so he doesn't go too far, pull a foot brake turn, and go back to the town. I keep driving until I see a cop car coming in my direction. I turn a hard right turn and cut off my lights and engine, put it in neutral, rolling down this hill. Cop gets to me. This car has just disappeared around a corner after I made the hard right turn. Cop tells other cars on the highway to watch out for what I was able to make out, a black 90s Mercedes sedan. Nobody finds him. I go home, finally get some sleep, go look outside. I shit you not, that Mercedes passed by my house as I looked out. The car floors it. I haven't seen him since then, so I'm kinda letting my guard down. I didn't have my car in my driveway, so if it was the same car, it had no clue I lived there, unless the driver followed me the night before.
I kinda have one. Not much happened, and it wasn't technically me. So my buddy and I back in high school would occasionally sneak out and wander the town, through woods and such, cutting through yards and hiding in bushes from cop patrols. We did this for fun and because it was spoopy and whatnot. Anyway, one night my buddy did this alone. We live on opposite ends of town, and the high school and library is in between us, closer to my side of town. Also, there is this large forest with multiple walkways that starts near my friend's house and ends at the library and high school. Now I'm going to Greentext as if I'm him to make things simpler. Be walking through woods, going towards the library on trail. About 1 a.m. Not much happened tonight. Pretty boring. End up in the library parking lot. Can see the high school parking lot a good distance away. See 2 cars. One light color, the other a blackish van. Suddenly hear a loud smack, like somebody slapped drywall with the palm of their hand. but loud enough that I could hear it from where I was despite being so far away. Immediately after, one of the cars peels out and speeds off. Absolutely no movement or noise after that. Call it a night. He called me on his walk home, and I was honestly a little upset that I wasn't there and that he didn't get a closer look. Not much happens in our town. It's a very quiet suburb.
I'm going to tell you a true story. A story that happened in 1995. I'm not going to Greentext fuck Greentexting. Before I start know this, I did not believe in anything paranormal before this event. Now I have an open mind. It's October 1995. I owned a small taxi company in a village in Scotland, Bridge of Weir to be exact. I'm giving locations so you can Google map this. I had a fare to a nearby village, Kilbarchan. It was a wild, wild night. The wind was gusting and constantly changing direction. The rain was coming down in sheets, then bouncing up about 12 inches from the road surface. Visibility was really poor. I kept my speed down. On the return to my office on Kilbarchan Road, Bridge of Weir, I had to drive through the panel bends what on Locker Road. As I slowed for the first bend, I saw something at the second bend. I slowed right down. There was a woman and a young girl, both dressed in long dresses and long coats. As I passed them, I stopped, seeing as the weather was so bad I was going to offer them a lift. No charge, a freebie. The road is unlit and dangerous at the best of times, but tonight it was treacherous. I got out of the car. No one there. I got back in the car and drove to my office. When I got back to the office, I explained to the radio operator what just happened. "You've just seen the Pannel Ghosts," she replied. A few weeks later, I'm on a hire, picked up 2 young guys. "Can you stop at Pannel House so we can get a pal?" one of them asked. "Sure, it's on the way," I replied. I then explained to them what had happened. They looked at each other and one said to me, "Look, mate, the best thing is to ask Anon when we pick him up at Pannel House. We arrive at Pannel House and the third guy gets in the taxi. I ask him, 'What the fuck is this about ghosts?' The other 2 guys remain silent. Anon tells me to turn the taxi around. There's something he wants to show me. I do, and we approached a tree. See that branch up there? See where it goes narrow? The maid hung herself and her daughter from that branch in the 19th century. Turns out the master of the house was sleeping with the maid. The maid got pregnant and chose to keep the child. The lady of the house found out and sent the child to the poorhouse. A few years later, maid and daughter get reunited. The maid hides her daughter in the attic for 4, while the lady of the house finds her again, fires the maid, then hangs the daughter, then herself. I now have no doubt I saw ghosts.
When I was 8 years old, my stepdad joined a softball team, and this required us to travel on weekends pretty often, usually staying a night over in some other city. Back then, mobile entertainment was pretty scarce, so my sister and I would usually just listen to music and stare out the window to pass the time, playing things like Slug Bug and whatnot. We were traveling through the outskirts of Coalinga, California, on a very clear and bright night, heading back home. I was doing the usual, staring at rows of trees, watching the wind blow them in the opposite direction our vehicle was traveling. After passing an orchard, I noticed a series of white barn houses in the distance, with a couple trees scattered around. One tree was close enough to a building to cast a very distinctive shadow through the moonlight. The shadow greatly resembled a face. so much that I at first thought it was painted onto the side of the building until I noticed it moving with the wind. This might not sound all that interesting, but if you could see the detail of the face, how the pupils seemed to dilate and follow our car as we passed, the way the mouth started to open as we got out of viewing distance. I like to pass it off as having an overactive imagination, but it was so clear when it happened. 20 years have passed, and I still don't know what to think of it.
I was 15 years old, driving down a highway around 2:30 a.m. in Florida. It was just built, so it was absent from highway lights. So I'm in the back seat, but in the middle, to where I can see the whole front windshield. My friend jokingly says, "You know you're on the Suncoast Parkway when you turn your headlights off and you can see nothing." So my friend turns the headlights off. Being adventurous myself, I didn't mind, but was still a little terrified because you literally see nothing. So me and my other friend tell him to put them back on, so he does. Then he says one more time with excitement and turns them back off. We get paranoid and tell him to turn them back on quickly, so he does. As soon as those headlights came back on, all three of us screamed, and he swerved the car in the other lane. What we saw was something very tall, very skinny, like skin and bones skinny. It was on two legs, and its eyes glowed as it looked in our direction. As soon as we saw it, it walked off the highway and was gone in the woods. My friend kept yelling, "What the fuck was that?" And my friend and I, scared out of our minds, jokingly said it was a demon in the road, Tenacious D reference, to kind of lighten the situation, but that wasn't working. So my friend tells us he needs to pull over because he is about to piss himself. He pulls over, takes a leak, and gets back in. We continue to drive back home, and feeling a little better, we get a call from my friend who was doing a gig at a bar we were all just at. He tells us that we need to come back and help him with something. We asked what happened, and he said, the weirdest thing, after loading in his music equipment, he started back for home. He got on the highway and ran over something that his words wasn't there and had a flat immediately. He pulled off the nearest exit and took a look at the damage. He said jokingly, "It looked like a demon shredded my tire." So after hearing that, it just made it all the more unsettling.
Tampa Bay area, Clearwater here. Probably a crackhead or meth head or just some dumb fuck. People step out in front of me all the time. They don't even try to run when they see me flooring it in their direction. No, I don't accelerate to try to run over people. I just don't decelerate for them. If they were worth anything, they would be in a car. My best guess is moving at a high rate of speed, unable to see, and then suddenly having light might have played with your vision a bit. Only weird thing to ever happen to me on the highway. Going to Orlando to participate in a car show. See quite a few cars broken down on the way, all of them newer models. People actually buy these new so-called cars. Not really cars, more like computers on wheels. Basking in my 1980s mid-engine no, ABS, no power steering glory. Suddenly the engine cuts off. Four-way flashers on, force my way onto the shoulder. At least the Fiero looks better broken down than newer cars do running. Call AAA. Find out I'm just past exit 55 on I-4. Get towed the rest of the way. My mechanic comes to repair the car. Jim replaces the ignition module. Going back home a few days later, blasting some Frank Sinatra, everything is perfect. Suddenly, the car shuts off. Stop on the shoulder. Call AAA. Look around. Same fucking spot. Literally straight line across from where I stopped the first time. Get towed to Jim's place. It turns out to be the same problem. Been running good since. Still rather drive it over any 90s plus car. Maybe the spirit of an angry Mustang driver that died trying to turn at that exit haunts that area? God damn it. Why can't anything interesting happen to me on the road? It's not good enough for Mustangs to fear the Firo. No. Even the spirits must cower at the sound of its name.
B17 or so. It's spring break, so me and my parents decided to go to Florida. We go to St. Augustine. Nice place, cool things to see. While I'm driving during the day, I see this girl sitting on a bench on a side street. She stuck out because of her dress. Bright pink color. I look once and keep driving. Later that night, parents made me get pizza, hop into my car and start driving. At night, the side streets are pretty empty. I'm going down the same street as earlier. Well, shit, that girl is still on the bench. Pull up to the curb, roll down the window. I ask, "You need any help?" She suddenly screams, really fucking loud. She doesn't get up, run, nothing. In the same spot screaming. I kinda freak out and speed away. I get the pizza, I'm coming back down the same street. The girl is gone. I think that she could have been out there to fuck with people. I guess that's why she had that dress. St. Augustine also has a paranormal history, but I found nothing near woman on a bench screaming at drivers in any report.
More from me. This one just popped back into my head. I was thinking about the snow we've had this year and I remembered this. It's winter. There was this huge blizzard. That day I decided that it would be a good idea to visit my friend's house. Bad idea. Traffic is horrible. I decide to see where my GPS will reroute me. Tells me to head down this 2-laned road that's in the woods. Okay, anything that will help me get home. This road is deserted. I can't see far in front of me. Snow is still coming down hard. I see another car now. I get closer to see it's a rusty Cadillac. He's going slower than I am, so I pass him cautiously. See this really weird-looking guy driving. He's got scars on his face. Has a really long nose. Whatever, I keep driving. I don't see him anymore. I turn a corner. The same rusty Cadillac is sitting, blocking both lanes. It looks wrecked though, as if the guy who was driving it took a back road shortcut, lost control and crashed. I can't stay here, so I get out and walk to the car to move it. Open the door. No keys inside. I pushed the shifter into neutral. It was so old and untaken care of. I was able to move it with no key. Take off the foot brake. I get it on the side of the road and I move on. I then see Mr. Cadillac behind me again. I don't want to go fast because I myself have a heavy V8 RWD Murican car. He tailgates me really close. Soon he backs off. I see lights up ahead. Some cops, ambulances, and flares on the road. Oh, an accident. I pass by slowly. Oh my God. It's that Cadillac. The same rusty Cadillac that was chasing me. It's crashed into a tree. It's destroyed. Bent metal, broken glass, etc. Paramedics are rolling a gurney into the ambulance. Oh, holy shit. I floor it. I still can't believe what I saw. Either that was the biggest coincidence of a lifetime, or the ghost of that guy was following me. Either way, I was scared shitless, and I don't take that road even in really bad traffic.
Okay, here's one that happened a few months ago. Driving home at 4 a.m. Decide to make a slight detour off of the road I was taking so I could take a piss at a spot I know. The spot is in the middle of barren fields where you can see the airport a few kilometers away, and the city even further than that. Get out of the car and start to do my business. Suddenly off in the distance, maybe 100 meters away, I can hear what sounds like laughing combined with a dog whining. Look around, trying to see where it was coming from, thinking just my luck someone was watching. There are no trees or bushes within that distance, no buildings at all, and the only lights nearby are from the airport a few kilometers away. The noises are increasing in volume, and I can now tell roughly where it's coming from, but there's nothing there. Finish up and turn to my car, when the sound is joined by another one coming from the same distance, in the opposite direction to the first. Quickly get in the car and pull a U-turn before speeding off. As I'm accelerating away, you can still hear the noises, now loud enough to hear with the windows up and engine on. Don't know what it was. Maybe some dickheads were playing a joke on me. But I wouldn't think you'd get that at the middle of the night. In the middle of nowhere. On a no-through road.
Be 17. Leaving school, going to my girlfriend's house for the night. Get to her house, milling around doing nothing in particular. Finally get to bed. I get woken up by my phone vibrating in my pants pocket. Look at it. It's my mother. Walk out of the room and pick it up. She says I need to get to the hospital now. It's an emergency. I walk back into my girlfriend's room and tell her what's happening, and I'll be back soon. She says okay. Hop into my car and floor it. It's 4 a.m., so traffic is no issue. Going 90 in a 55 miles per hour zone. This dude then pulls out from the shoulder. He's going way slower than me, at least 20 miles per hour. I pretty much stand on the brake and lay on my air horns. I shit you not, I came within centimeters of his bumper. I get a look at the thing. It's an old Ford E-van. It's rusty, it's painted with primer, and there are blotches of black and gray, what appears to be house paint on the van. It's like your generic Maxwell van. I'm really fucking pissed. I get alongside him. I start yelling profanities at the guy. I can't see much, he's got dirt and grime on the windows. I yell one last thing and speed past him. Later on I heard something. I look behind me. It's the Maxwell van. I fly the finger at him out the window. He honks. Most pathetic horn I've heard in my life. It sounds like a buzzer. I keck and keep going. He's tailgating me now, honking his buzzer horn and flashing really dim headlights. I brake check him a few times. He finally backs off. I see my exit. I turn in hard on the bullnose and speed into the exit. I look behind me as I'm doing so. The van sped up and tried to hit me. Actually, he did. He scratched the corner of my bumper. I was then told by a friend that some guy has been kidnapping drivers on that highway. I was almost a victim. I don't think he's been caught. I might try and go on that highway again to find him.
Probably not creepy to anyone else, but still terrifies me to this day. Be last Christmas, going to see my girlfriend's family. 6-hour drive to get there. Start driving through the national forest at around 3 a.m. Everyone's tired. See a car on the side of the road, headlights on. Slow down to see what the fuck is going on. No one's in there. Don't think much of it. Keep on driving. 5 minutes later, I see something running along the side of the road. Think it must have something to do with the car earlier. Decide to stop and see if whoever it is needs help. Start to slow down, but keep my eyes on the road. Friend in back seat starts screaming, telling me to fucking drive. Everyone else wakes up and sees what he sees, all start shouting. All the screaming freaked me out, so I peel out. Look in the rear view to see what the hell all the fuss was about. All I saw was something around the size of a human, but clearly not a human. From what my friend described, a large coyote-looking thing walking on all fours,
but with the face of a human. We were about 5 feet from it when I slowed down, so I don't doubt that he got a good look.
Pennsylvania here. My story about the 7 gates of hell. Just saying, not paranormal, but still like really fucked up. 5 months ago. Decide I was eager to do something fun, so drove out to where the gates are. Go through the first 3, no problem. Now anyone else who knows these gates 4 to 7, you have to walk. As my car gets to the gate, my XM started screeching, tried to turn down the sound with no avail. Shut off car. Shit still blaring. So I said fuck it, and decided to walk the rest of the way. Get to the 5th gate, and thought I heard chanting, so I decided to pass it off, because this area is notorious for teens trying to do satanic rituals. Past gate 6, I can see lights flickering deeper in where assumably past the 7th gate is. Yup. Teens. Get to the 7th gate and I see a large pyre of wood burning bright. By now the wind has picked up a bunch and see a bunch of scrawny kids between 14 to 17. Off to the side there's an upside-down cross with an infant nailed to it. A second cross is being lifted and thrown on the fire with a second infant roped on it. Noped out of there. Tried to hop in my car, but the battery was dead. Grabbed all my shit like registration cards, insurance and shit, and left the car there. Ran 2 miles down the road to the gas station and called a cab and tow. Like I said, not paranormal, but that image is seared in my brain. Surprised the missing kids were never on the news.
Be me. Driving through a small town in North Carolina at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Do this once in a while. Never see another car at this time. Weird Coca-Cola truck shows up in the lane to the right. Must have turned in from a side road. Glance over a couple of times. White truck. Coca-Cola in black. Weird. Notice the sliding doors have padlocks on them. Notice what seems like someone pushing to get out. Accelerate a bit and see the windows are tinted. See the road I need to turn on up ahead. Put on the turn signal to merge right. Other vehicle speeds up with me. Slow down to let it pass. The other vehicle slows down too. Nope into the next gear. Turn left, then a couple of rights and loop back. Never saw it again.
I've honestly had too many experiences to count. I live in Central Florida, lived here my entire life. Used to live in an area where a lot of deaths involving motorists occurred. My own dad was killed on that road when I was an infant. Anyway, this story was told to me by my mom back when she and my dad were first married. According to her, they were heading into town with my uncle, her brother, in the back seat, going out to drink, I think, and they were rounding this large bend in the road which is bordered on both sides by dense forests and swamps. My dad was driving and he spotted a car on the side of the road, so being the helpful guy he was, he slowed down. It seemed like whoever it was, they were having car trouble. As he slowed, all 3 of them noticed that the car was all torn up. Huge gashes in the side, hood, etc. Suddenly, this guy comes right out of the darkness and slams into the door of their car that my mom was sitting on. He was bloody as hell, deep gashes all over him, just like his car. My mom's window was slightly rolled down and the guy reached in and tried opening the door. Naturally, everyone started freaking the fuck out and my uncle finally yelled, "Fucking floor it!" Needless to say, they did. They drove to a nearby gas station and called the cops. When the cops got out to the area, that fucked up car and guy were nowhere to be found. The guy never spoke a word, just tried getting inside the car. That's what always freaked them out the most. There have been a lot of reports of people going missing, being found all torn up, and other strange shit out there.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.